In this video today, we're going to talk about the state of international matchmaking. Well, more so in our industry, which is helping men from the West meet women from Ukraine. And Luba's been doing it for a long time, haven't you, Luba?
Yeah, we decided to discuss what changed in the last 2 years, like how the ladies, are they interested, not interested, like how our business model maybe changed in this period of time, and what's going on. So basically, as we already discussed, maybe you guys know about that there's a lot of stories, like why Ukrainian lady would still go to the matchmaker, if she can just go to the Tinder, if she's already in Europe, she can date easily and all this kind of stuff. But what is interesting is that really nowadays, because we building something new for the ladies, and we'll discuss that we do like some trainings for the ladies, and I feel that, I have such a big expertise that I really should share with the ladies. Like last week we have 10 new ladies that messaged me, called me, because here in Spain everybody knows what I do because the community is pretty small, and the ladies calling me not just from Spain. What is interesting, they're calling me from Germany, some of them even calling from Russia, but it's another story. But anyway, they are calling and they asking me such a serious questions, almost like it's like we're sitting in front of each other and they asking me with such a serious face, because they are mesmerized with what we do. They are surprised that there is a service that is legit, that is introducing exactly to the guys that the lady is interested, that the guy is interested. And so they don't want to be on a Tinder, they don't want to be in the apps. And sometimes I am the one who are telling them and say you should try there as well, because obviously we have database of 1,800 girls and let's say 30 active clients, so I can't introduce all the ladies to these 30 guys. And they are surprised. They're surprised by that, and they're very much appreciating all the work and everything that I do. So that is the most current update of what is going on with Hard Rocket, and what is going in and how the ladies viewing the apps and everything. So, but what changed?
Yeah, well, I'll just say here is that, there was a lot of sort of gossip around, and in the comments as well, people say, well, now that the borders are open and that Ukrainian woman, I'll say single Ukrainian woman, because I think it's important to say that, because I know under this video here, just scroll down, if this video has been up for a day, you'll see there's a bunch of comments that say Ukrainian women abandoned their men and went to Warsaw to party. Okay, so we deal with single women here, women that are not in relationships. They don't have any obligation to wait for any man anywhere, regardless of whether he is fighting on the front line or he's not on the front line, okay? These are just single women, okay? So that's the way it's always been. So they're going to try and look for the best option possible. Now, they'll think about this, right? People say, there's Tinder, they can go to Poland, the men are going to want them. But in Poland and many of these other countries, I was talking to a couple that I met recently when I was on vacation, who were from Czech Republic, and they were sort of alluding to the fact that we're kind of sick of the Ukrainians, right? And that's kind of the feeling that's going on at the moment. It's not like the Ukrainian, a bunch of beautiful Ukrainians ended up in your suburb in America, where it's like, wow, this is incredible. It's not like that. In Poland, the Poles don't see Ukrainian women as something incredible. They simply don't. It's only the further away you get from Eastern Europe, the more beautiful and more appealing they seem, right?
Yeah, because unfortunately, it's not only Ukrainian young, beautiful girls came to all these countries. It's all sorts of people. And we just been discussing with Stryker that unfortunately not, Ukrainian people are good if you know them, if you're friends with them. But the first impression from Ukrainian people, we already discussed that it is like coconuts, right? They're very, very difficult they're very harsh, they very rarely smile. And so you need to understand that it's not only Ukrainian ladies who came to these countries. It's everyone, some guys who are even whatever, however they got there, or the guys 60 plus, there's they are upset, they're angry, they think that everybody owes them, because they lost their home country, and so everybody owes them. But Polish people didn't really invite them. They was living perfectly fine without all these people who came. And even we here in Spain, that is almost the furthest part from Ukraine, we still see sometimes. At the very beginning when we came, the Spanish police made a mistake in my card, in my name, because it's Lubov, it's super complicated for them. And so remember, we made a friendship with the policeman, and I still go for coffee dates with like it's not older gentlemen, I'm joking, but older gentlemen that really wanted to help. But the reason that we become friends is because like one girl came and she was shouting at him that he can't understand your English or something, but he's not like he shouldn't do it, right? Like he's not supposed to. It's not that it's like mandatory. So not everyone think, unfortunately, that Ukrainians came and made this world more beautiful.
Yeah, they did. There's. I feel sorry sometimes for the guys that make those comments, because they've only looked at the most beautiful woman in Ukraine on Instagram or on some bullshit website, and they think all women look like that. It's like they don't. Some of them are a bit chubby. Some of them aren't very attractive. Some of them are attractive. Generally speaking, most of them are more attractive than, say, Western women. But they're not all super hotties that you should be angry with because they're too hot to speak to. Okay.
Can I say something to the guys?
What?
Like, it's just like funny when you came. There was like, he was with a younger guy. He was our client, and he was the client of that company that you came with. And I remember that when you just get out of that company, and this guy was saying like, I just want to find a village girl, I just want to find a countryside girl. And he showed me some picture of some, from Google or something, like the girl, beautiful blonde, sitting with a big like long tail, sitting like with a little wheat, like with a little
flower.
Yeah. And Stryker say, Luba, this is what we should do. We should work with the village girls. And then we went with Stryker for the mushroom hunting. I invited him, and we went to the village, and I showed you a couple of village girls like with no teeth, like a little bit.
Bad teeth, not no teeth.
Like,
I wouldn't say they had no teeth. They had some teeth.
Or like it was like some hair
but it's not
in
what
some
you think.
parts.
It's not what you think with like these pure village girls. No, for a woman to look good, they need to maintain themselves, which is more in the city.
This culture video is making me talk like on a live stream.
We've really gone off track, haven't we?
Yeah, but
already it's only like 6 minutes in.
Yeah, but more comments about that. But anyway, people change, and as we just mentioned, that don't please get this idea that Ukrainian ladies are super welcomed everywhere and they just dating everyone and they have 5 boyfriends at the same time. No, but here are some points that really changed, and the dynamic that I see is better because like when we speak about high quality woman, it's a certain criteria, right? And I think that one of them is very important, is language, because a lot of guys say if she's willing to date a Western man, if she's willing to move, she should speak the language. So in these 2 years, all the ladies that moved out, like I would say 90%, they learned the language of the country that, at some point, somebody better, somebody less, but they learned the language of the country where they are. All of the ladies realize that English is super important, no matter which country they are. So they learn English as well. So from the database of 1,800, we have 1,100, I think now, who speaks English. And they become more open-minded about cultures.
Just go back. How many speak English?
I think 1,100 from
1,100,
yeah.
Okay.
Gentlemen, just wanted to invite you to our free Telegram community where you can get in touch with me and Stryker directly, talk to our other subscribers, discussing some questions, having like a little community that we built where we share some interesting videos from daily life, some updates about the clients, about their trips, and answering all of your questions. So join the link down below and we see you there. So then they become better in understanding the Western culture a little bit. It's like, what happens? It's interesting, and I heard it many times. When Ukrainian ladies came, especially if it is Ukrainian lady, single one, or with a child, in Germany, in Spain, they was living with the families. And so they touched the Western culture, but still brought traditional Ukrainian values. And this you can ask anyone. Like, yes, there are some people who making our reputation is not so good, but in Europe, if you talk to people who lives here and you say, okay, what do you think of Ukrainian ladies? All of them will say, I hope, that, Ukrainian ladies, they're cooking, they're cleaning, because ladies was really, really very appreciative of like the help that they was getting from the country and the families that was helping them. So even though Ukrainian ladies within 2 years was able to touch Western culture, because I do believe that, for example, Spain is so much more closer to the West than, than Ukraine,
Of course.
And with the feminism, with like everything here. But Ukrainian ladies are touched that, but they bringing and they implementing and they involving Ukrainian traditions and culture to this Western new society that they get in. They become more open about dating guys from different nationalities, cultures, races. They become more open because they're not in Ukraine anymore where everybody's super conservative about that. Here, they're more open-minded.
They're not going to be judged. Like in Ukraine, if it was a woman and she was dating like a black guy, for instance, or an Asian guy, it's people would look. Some people would look. Her friends, her family, or whatever. Here, it's like because there's so many different cultures in Spain, and I'm sure it's the same in other countries
Everywhere.
as well, France, etc. It's more accepted and it's less judgment. And Ukrainian people, they care a lot about what the neighbour is thinking, don't you?
Yeah.
You care
yeah.
about what the neighbour is thinking. The other thing also that I was going to say, but I've completely lost my train of thought, is that, so basically, today when I was at the supermarket, I was getting my little trolley thing out, and I was sort of getting it out, and I couldn't quite get it out fast enough, but I managed to get it out while the other person was trying to get one out as well. And the other person, who was Spanish, was extremely grateful for that. And I said to Luba earlier on today, I said, if I was in Ukraine and that was happening, the Ukrainian man or woman, babushka, dedushka, whoever it was, would have got angry with me as if I am wasting their time completely. That's how it would have been. And I've had those similar situations before. People just like fire up and get angry. Here, people are so friendly. And I said to Luba, what do you think it's like? Like, Luba has experience with Western culture. She's been to America. We have a lot of American clients. But what about ones that don't have that? And all of a sudden they've been injected into this country, into this new culture, where everybody is friendly and everybody is smiling. People are saying thank you. People are saying please. Like, what is that like for them? Because if you acted like that in Ukraine, you're overly friendly, people would think that you're drunk or you're crazy, and people would just tell you to basically let you off. So this
is something that country is bringing. When we were discussing with Stryker that not like all of the countries, I know that like Germany is a little bit like colder, I would say, and Spanish people is just like that. But I guess that this, like with this horrible situation that happened, this little bit implementing of Ukrainian people here, like it's gonna help the Europe in general. But you know what happened? Like that is kind of good and bad. Ukrainian ladies that moved out, they become more independent. And so you can look at this like from 2 points, right? Like you can look at this from the point of, oh my God, it's so bad because she become more independent, and it means that it would be more difficult for her to date, or she become more like masculine. And we talk about this a lot. We talk about this in Ascent, about the masculine and feminine equilibrium. So from one hand, it's good because she moved the country. So if she moved again, and everybody noticing that and mentioning that it won't be as much of a culture shock for her next time as it was first time. So if she already moved to one country and she met a guy and she's moving, for example, to United States or Australia or whatever, she won't be that shocked, because usually this was the biggest, like this first 1, 2, 3 months when the lady was moving to United States, was the most difficult relationship between man and woman, because when he was coming to Ukraine, everything was great, she was smiling, she was in her comfortable zone. But when she was moving to US with not such a good language, without like ability to drive, without like license, without documents, she was getting angry, she was getting upset. Everybody was going through different like 5 stages of grief. But now when she already moved to Europe, like she already got it, like she understands they're going to be different products, different food, different like everything, and it's okay. We can adjust. We can find our manicure master. We can find the tomatoes that we want, because everybody was coming to us and say like, there's no tasty tomatoes. It's ridiculous, but it is something that is important, like, you know. And the first year I was the same. I said, Stryker, there's no tomatoes, and it's like the supermarket is like full, it's stuffed with there's no Odessa tomatoes. And now like my friend came to Spain and she brought me, I asked her to bring me something from Odessa that I really liked, and I tasted it and I thought like, it's not as good, it's my memories. But anyway, so the ladies become more independent in a way that, you know, they find new job, they learn new language, they maybe become a little bit masculine because they have no other choice. But if you done Ascent and you know how to deal with this equilibrium and you can push your back on the feminine side, then everything gonna be right. And you need to, like we have with Stryker a quote that we turn everything bad in good. So even the situation that maybe she become more independent or more masculine, you need to turn into something that benefit you, because you will get a lady who already adjusted to a new culture. If she's done it once, she will do it again.
I think that people overcomplicate the situation. If there's a woman who is single and she is like, say, 30 years old or 28 years old or whatever it is, she wants to be in a relationship with a man that is the best option for her, right? And whether or not she's living in Poland or Romania or Spain, that hasn't changed. right? Maybe some of her options are different, but who's to say that she moves to Spain for whatever reason, well, we know what the reason is, but she chose Spain for whatever reason. Who's to say that she thinks that Spanish men are better than Ukrainian men? Or who's to say that Polish men are better than Ukrainian men? Because I'd say that, people seem to think the women have run off to Poland and now they're going to be getting slayed by a bunch of Polish men as if that's a better option for her. But their cultures are not the same. They don't speak the same language. It would be better for her to be in a relationship with someone who may be even a shittier partner in Ukraine, right? So just because she's gone to another country out of necessity, we have to remember that she's left behind all of her clothes, her cat, her apartment that she owned, her car, all of those things, and now she's in another country. Now, depending on how you view it, and I know that some people think, well, she's desperate, she'll take anyone. But then other people are saying on the other side, well, now they've got a lot of options and they can take the best option. So none of it makes any sense. And that's the thing. So people are overcomplicating it. We would quite often have comments that contradict each other, unrelated, under each video about what women want. Women want simps. No, women want the bad boys. That's why. So what it tells me, and you learn a lot from the comments, it's really interesting, is that no one knows anything at all and everybody tries to overcomplicate it, or they're simply coming up with a theory in their mind that makes themselves feel better why they're not with a beautiful woman, right? And so I don't know what the reason is that you're
thinking of,
what you're thinking of, but it's so simple. Women want men of quality, right? And if you're making up excuses about why you hate those types of women, you look at a woman. I had a friend one time. We were in the Gold Coast at the time, and some other friends had brought back. It was a stag do. Brought back some relatively hot woman, and my friend, he always used to say stuff like this. He would say, "Man, I hate chicks like that," and I would say, "Why?" And he goes, "I just look at them." And they were hot and they were dressed up. And it's like he hated them because he knew that if he went and spoke to them, there was a high chance of those girls telling him to get lost. And so it's easier to have that mentality at the start and just be, oh, I hate them. Oh,
I didn't want them from the first
They're sluts. They're after geeks. They're after nerds. They're after the bad boys. And that's the way that it is. But it's so simple. Women just want a man that will treat them right, a quality man who has his shit together. It doesn't matter what culture he's from the most part, right? Maybe she doesn't want to date a guy from a particular culture because she's had a bad experience with that culture, whatever. But she wants a quality man, and she wants to be in a scenario where she's with that man and that man makes her feel good. He makes her feel interesting. That's what she's longing for. All women, that's what they want. All women want to be in a scenario, on a date, in a chance meeting with a man, and she has desire for that man. That's what she wants. It's the greatest gift that you can give to a woman is her desire for you. Don't worry about all the other knickknacks and this and that and, she's after this or she's after that. She's not after me. It doesn't matter. It's so simple. We do this for a job. It is so, so simple. Women just want a man that's quality, that will take care of them.
And
that's
also,
it.
they really, all the ladies that are coming to us now and, all of our database, they want to create a family. And when they say, and I of course, I was also very wondering, don't you worry. I was asking, are you dating somebody? Are you going on a date? And, all the answers are, yes, I went on a date with a German guy, or I went to the guy with the Italian guy, but they're not serious. They don't mind. Of course, they're men, and if the lady is beautiful, he don't mind to go. He doesn't mind to go with her on a date. Why would he? But is he serious about living together? Is he serious about taking care of her? If he's serious about building relationship, not going on a date or not taking her for 1 week vacation? No. Is he serious about really building that? No. Most of the time, no. And so the lady is not what she's looking for because, by losing everything, losing the country, she really wants to find stability. And stability, it's not that, she doesn't have a place to live because as we mentioned before many times, Ukrainian ladies has now passport that allow them to go anywhere. They have documents, they have apartments, they get free accommodation if they need in any country. They get financial support. So it's not about that. Now it's the perfect time to find exactly the lady that you're looking for, or for the lady to understand, to sit and reflect what exactly matters for her in a relationship and what is not. So the only change that I see is that in any matter, the ladies are really super desperate, it's more that they are more they're more picky.
Yeah, they're more, I guess they have more exposure to different cultures. Not just they went to France and they have exposure to French men. They went to France and they have exposure to many different cultures because it's so in Spain, the amount of people that you meet from all over the world,
Yeah, especially, of course, every girl was trying to go to the bigger city, and so in the bigger city, there's like variety of nationalities and everything. So,
At the end of the day, you know, what we do is not so complicated. It really isn't. And I know that some of the other matchmaking channels, they try to make it very, very complicated. It really isn't. You know, they try and there's buzzwords and there's like selling points and there's all this stuff that's, you know, you don't need to worry about. There are women out there that are not just using matchmakers. This is what you have to understand too. They're using other options too. They may even be on Tinder. But anybody that thinks that, oh, well, why would they use a matchmaker when they've got Tinder? Just have a think for a second. When you're on Tinder, what are you looking for? What are most men looking for on Tinder? She's a good wife. I think she'd be a good wife. I think that she'd be a good wife. No. And women know that too. They're not stupid. Once they've been, you know, had a few goes with guys on Tinder, they understand what Tinder is.
And they don't want, like, it's exactly, they said, please, like, don't. And also, the girls who are, like, coming to us, they really don't want to be, like, on this, like, websites, and, like, they know, that, like, that so once you got to the letter writing or whatever website, there's no way to get out the profile of there.
But a lot of them now don't even know anything about that. You know, you're meeting so many women here in Spain, like, from Ukraine. And Lucy, you were just saying about, like, you know, a lot of them are from Russia, you know, but it makes it a little bit difficult. But they've lived in Spain for, I don't know, 10 years or 15 years or whatever. But it's that same type of, you know, that same part of the world.
This is something that I can't overcome yet, because like here's a lot of, Stryker said, how do you find these girls? And like, because there are so many different events that I'm visiting here, and like, it just depends. Like, if it is a free event, you're going to meet a lot of Ukrainian girls. If I pay for an event, like if it is something interesting topic, because I adore different workshops and everything, networking. So if I pay for that, there's most likely would be Russian girls who live here already for 5-6 years. They have job and everything. And when I represent myself and tell what I do, they're like, wow, is it even a thing? Like, are you serious? Is it? And then I show our couples to them on my phone, and they're like, wow, it's so interesting. And they really asking questions like relating that, you know, is it even possible? Yeah,
well, that was one thing at the start. I guess we don't want to make this video go for too long. Is we actually stepped out of the industry, you know, and we said that we don't want to be part of all this like scammy bullshit. We're not going to, release any secrets about the industry. We don't care about any of that stuff. And what we have is something that we believe is like way more powerful than all of this other like scummy stuff and hanging out with all this like rubbish and this trash water, I used to call it. So when new people find out about it, new women find out about it, and we show them photos of our couples and the experiences that they had, if they're single, what do you think they're going to say? Oh, that's interesting. I want to know more. They're not going to say, oh, no, I'm fine, thanks. There's like a couple of guys down the end of the street that have been wanting me for a while, and I've just downloaded Tinder Gold, and, you know, I should be good. So thanks a lot, guys. No, thanks. So that's not what happens, you know, but they don't use us as their single option. Like when guys come to us, yes, at the moment, that is their number one option. I couldn't imagine that they're still going out doing street pickup as if they were 20 years old or jumping on Tinder or whatever. They may still be doing stuff, you know, Tinder maybe, whatever. But when they've come over to us, they're serious about it. Women, for them, it's different. And that is one of the reasons why this international matchmaking works, because we have absolutely no obligation to fulfill any contract with the woman. And that's why it doesn't work with Western matchmakers, because women pay to be matched and the men pay to be matched, and the matchmaker for these large companies have a contract to fulfill, and they start matching people who don't want to meet each other, or they don't have enough people to match. We have so many women in the database, it's like approaching like
1800. But you know, you're right, because like I told this lady today, she said like, oh, so and when I'm gonna, like I was interviewing one lady today, and she's like, so when will you find me a man? I said, you know what, like we have a lady who just recently got engaged. She's been registered with us almost from the very first day, and there was no single guy who talked to her, and only like one guy talked to her, and they're matched. And it's not because she's desperate or anything, like, and probably she was dating some, not dating, but she was going on some dates between that, but like that was a exact match, because that I will introduce you to wonderful ladies for sure. That if you are serious and if you really want to be matched, I will find you a wife. But for the guys I'm talking about, but for the ladies, of course, 1830, like it's a little bit difficult for me to make a magic. But for the guys, I know for sure that I can introduce them and they can be in a relationship. For the ladies, it's a bit more difficult, but it's good. You know, we're never gonna charge. I mean, never say never, but we're not going to charge ladies anything unless, you know, I do some training for them, of course, because I don't want. And Stryker is very right. I have some guys who, like I talked before, even Hard Rocket, and they were saying that they paid like enormous amount of money for the Western matchmaker, and they just went on a date with a lady that like
That they had to fulfill a contract.
Yes,
to.
because like but it's another topic, and I guess that we just gave not update only about Ukrainian lady, but just in general, you know, what's happening.
Yeah, I mean, and that's pretty much it. So, I mean, if it's something you're looking at doing, definitely book a call with us. There'll be a link down in the description below to figure out how to move forward if it's something that you want to do. That's pretty much it, really. We sort of, did we go off topic on that one?
Of course.
We had to run in fast because we're about to do a live video. That's why we're sitting on the couch and we're like, we have to get this thing done. But we ate dinner a bit late and now we're tired and slow.
Do they really need to know that?
That's just our life. Look, we try to keep it together.
We see you next time.
We'll see you later.